Hello, welcome back. We've looked at the previous videos about selling in the core areas of Amazon's business, which is books, CDs and DVDs. However, the ability to be able to sell items isn't actually limited rather to those categories. So let's take a look at the possible categories we can sell into. There are the popular ones: books, music, video, DVD, video games, software, electronics, toys, kitchen and home, DIY and tools, home and garden and personal care. Now there is a health and beauty category, but you're not allowed at first to actually sell into that. There's a certain number of other conditions that you have to meet. So okay, that should give us plenty of opportunity to be able to find non-branded goods to be able to sell into them. So let's take a little look through using some of the examples in the ebook. So we'll move on the screen and we'll go to the next category. And the next category here, as we can see, is electronics. Now if we look down the left hand side, there are a huge quantity of items that are for sale there. If we just take the computing category, for instance, there are nearly 400,000 listed items. And that essentially means that there are 4,000 opportunities for someone to buy something before they buy your product. Let's have a look at what's on the screen here as well, which shows some memory cards, some leads. Now if we look at the prices that these are going for, this one for instance, particularly buying you 58 pence, we're not going to make an awful lot of markup on 58 pence. So what we need to do is to look at a much smaller niche market. And let's take an example from the ebook and go into the following market. We're going to look at electric razors. Now one of the important things when searching for items either using eBay or Amazon is to use the correct search words. And quite clearly here I haven't done that, as it only returned 3 items. We've got this amazing new toothbrush sterilizer family model with ultraviolet and ozone kills blah 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 blah. And we've got 2 adapters here. One is a 2-pin shaving plug and the other one is an adapter for the USA, Canada, etc. So that's probably not the correct term that we should have used for searching. If we had used, on the other hand, electric shavers, it would have brought up this whole category here. Now as you can see from the left hand side, these are branded shavers, but I don't ever heard of Remington before. So I think this is a branded product that has been brought in and has been named there. You can see this, we've got Remington, Braun, Electrolux, which are well-known products. Let's go down here, and there are 17 listings here, and we can see some of them are pretty much crossovers from what we've had previously. Let's have a look at the shavers now. We've got Remington, we've got a Braun, and we've got this one. And this clearly is a non-branded shaver. If we look at the size of the market here as well, the size of the market is actually quite small. So there's an opportunity here to source non-branded products to sell into this market. So let's take a look at this one here. So buy new for $23.99 or 2 used and new from $21.99. Let's have a look. Gives a bit more detail about the product. Now as it looks slightly unusual, this is something that's been introduced. It's been a non-branded product. It's been brought in probably from China. Now we can tell that the giveaway is that there isn't a great deal in the way of technical details here. A little bit of product details there as well, and there's also other information which would possibly help you decide whether to make it a buy or not. Right, now here's the rub. If we use somewhere like Alibaba or perhaps global sources, we could source a similar type of shaver perhaps very, very cheaply and sell into this market here. Let's have a look at the next page where we look at the number of sellers here. So there are only 2 sellers selling this particular product. Right, now because it is a non-branded product, as an account holder for a single user account, in other words your personal account, you will not be able to introduce a brand new product. If you have an account that will allow you to pay the subscription, which is called a pro seller account, you're allowed to add to the Amazon catalog. So you can add an image, you can add a description, and this is what clearly seems as though someone has done here. One of these two sellers perhaps has introduced this particular item. They've put the photo in the catalogue, they've written a description. If we have a look at them, this one is selling at £21.99 and £4.40 shipping, and £23.99 and £4.70 shipping. We can go to the next screen and it will show us, or ought to show us, the feedback ratings. So we can see that it's rather similar to eBay in some respects. But we can also click this link here, which will take us to the storefront of MHZ Distributors. Right, now what that does, it allows us to do a little bit in the way of research. So we can look at the products that are being sold here. So perhaps we could sell something similar to what MHZ Distributors, or indeed any of the other sellers on Amazon, are actually selling. If we have a look there, you'll see that there are absolutely lots of branded products. Now you're not going to be able to compete as a starter with a branded product. For instance, I've never heard of Omrod, maybe other people have had, and if we click on the see more, we should end up with our list of, there we go. Now I don't recognize all of these as brands, so these are perhaps a brand that has been brought in, perhaps renamed, perhaps relabeled for this this seller, or it has a generic name. So for instance, Sultan Europe, never heard of what that is. Let's take a look at what that product is. There we go. It actually comes up with Hayden, which I think I have heard of. But you can see the idea of introducing a non-branded product here. So there's some examples there. If I use, I'll just go back a few screens here. Now that was a very, very small market. Let's take another one that I actually use in the magazine, in the ebook, and that of hair straighteners. So let's have a look at some of the other products that I might be able to do. So let's try, not electronics here, but let's try health and beauty, and let's try hair straighteners. There we go, it comes straight away. Now I would imagine here that we're looking at a very much bigger market. So let's have a look there. Hair straighteners, 264 results. Now we can see that they're actually across different departments as well: personal care, beauty, health care. And we can also see there the standard ones, the ones that we're familiar with as brands: GHD, Babalisk, Remington, Philips, Tresemme. And again, we've got this little window here that we can open up, and we will see there lots of brands that we don't know because they are being brought in as non-branded products. So we can virtually name them whatever we like, or we can use the ones that they've been originally sold under. Now again, I don't recognize a lot of these products here, but I also don't know an awful lot about hair straighteners. So it is possible to introduce here a non-branded product into this market. We can also have a look at the different listings there. Now if we say, for instance, we actually got a very good deal on this one here, which is Babalisk. Now all we would need to do to be able to list this product, to be listed in exactly the same way as we've listed books, DVDs and everything else. But the other thing is that this will now be part of Amazon's catalog. So when I come to type in either the description of the object or the number which is next to the barcode, it will bring up this as part of the catalog. If you tried it earlier with the books, you'll see immediately it will bring up all of these down here. Customers who bought this also bought the following. Yeah, Battlefield, right, Wild Child. Yeah, yes, you can see it with the hair straighteners, can't you? But the point being there is that this is already part of the catalogue, and you do need to be a pro merchant seller before you can introduce something different into the catalogue here. So as you can see, for non-branded products, and probably for most of your eBay inventory as well, if you're selling the same product on a continuous sales system, then obviously it's very simple to be able to move that business model over towards Amazon. The thing that you will need to consider though is your pricing very, very carefully indeed. Now in the ebook I've actually given you a link there that takes you to Amazon's current pricing policy. That's amazon.co.uk and also amazon.com. you would see how much you'll have to pay for an electrical item. And I think in terms of these, it's about 8.5% of your final selling fee. You'd need to check that and to make sure that you're actually not making a loss and that you are making a profit on that. So let's take a look there a little bit further. Okay, so it's in stock. Now if we've got multiple items, now in the case of when we started on Amazon and we were simply listing a copy of a book here, a copy of a DVD there, a copy of a CD, we might have only one or two. But we might have, for instance, we might have bought a job lot of these, we might have 50. We can put 50 in as the quantity that we've got, and the Amazon cart will update that and alter your screen, alter your database to actually determine that. So if someone came along, I mean on a very, very good day, and decided that they wanted 10, they would update your cart immediately to say that your stock levels were at 40 if originally you put 50 in. So it's very, very clever that the way that actually does this, and it will also be able to manage that system for you. When you actually make a sale, you'll receive an email through from your primary email address directly from Amazon telling you that such and such person has made a sale, and you should dispatch that within 2 working days to their registered address. Okay, so that gives you the start into the market there. So that basically covers the very simple levels of Amazon. But as with all of these things, it's a question of trying it yourself, trying out various products there. Something that will sell very well on eBay may not sell on Amazon, and vice versa. Sometimes you'll find the price on Amazon to be very, very much higher than it is on eBay, and again, often the other way around. Sometimes you can source products directly off Amazon because they are very, very hot sellers on eBay. On the other hand, you can pick up items very, very cheaply on eBay and resell them on Amazon, particularly if you look for misspelt items or mislisted items, or items that have got very poor descriptions that you know will have a high resale value, and also that are on they're on an auction. So it's worthwhile keeping an eye out for these misplaced products and these misspelled products as well, because you can always make a little bit up by selling it through Amazon or vice versa. Now I hope this has given you, these little sets of DVDs have given you a little bit of an insight into how to start selling. But at the end of the day, it's again about trying the systems. Can I just reiterate the following? Try things small. Don't be tempted into buying vast quantities of an item that you haven't tested. Try and buy in the minimum number that you can. Another trick that you can actually use, if you think a particular product will go very, very well, buy a small number at the retail price as cheap as you can get it, and see if you can resell them on Amazon. Now you might think straight away, I'm going to be losing some money here. Correct, you will be. But what you're doing is you're paying a very small amount out to actually try the concept out. So instead of buying a box of 50, you might buy 3. It'll cost you a few pounds to try that out. If they don't sell, you've simply lost the cost of that. You could possibly put them onto eBay. If you find a big seller, an item that seems to have sold an awful lot. So if I bought, for instance, 3 of these and managed to sell them very quickly indeed at a decent price, I could get a much better price for buying a box of 50 or a box of 100. I've tried the concept out for a few pounds there, rather than giving the initial outlay of buying a box of 50 or 100 or wherever the minimum buy-in. So there's an idea there. Start using ideas from, look for products on Alibaba or global sources. Look at the pictures, because the same sort of pictures will be used to illustrate the same product on Amazon or on eBay. So look for the big sellers there, look where the margins are. It all comes down, again, research, research and research. You can never do enough of that. Anyway, I'd like to thank you very much for listening to these sets of videos. I hope they've been instructional and informative, and I wish you the very best of success with your online ventures. Goodbye.